We marvel at the serenity of the forest and crave the shroud of its silence. Welcome to Roadwarden's anniversary patch. It improves a few stories and bits of interface, but sadly it won't work well with old saves. I recommend starting your playthrough from the beginning. In the newly available advanced difficulty settings, you can choose to skip the opening section of the game. Thank you so much for giving my game a chance. Okay. No. Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Roadwardens not only accept the struggle, they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses, and, if possible, get rid of beasts and highwaymen. They leave on the road, die young, and retire early. It is a dangerous job, but a respectable one, and it pays well. How do they retire early if they die young, though? Don't think so, game. But let's go. Pick difficulty mode. This choice cannot be altered later on. Casual for those focused on the story, no time limit, no more cash at the start. Some quests are more forgiving. Standard for those familiar with RPGs, 40-day time limit, regular rule set. And 30-day limit, increased nighttime damage. I guess we should go with standard. Why not? Where should we position our little foot? Maybe there? It's not in the way? The wall is still standing. There are no wolves around, no stench of blood. Good signs. This should be the place you're looking for. You are supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices, no sounds of labor. The gate is ajar. But the camp isn't safe. It may keep away goblins and peddlers, but not beast folk nor trolls, and the night is near. Your pilfery breathes heavily. It had a long day. Elfrey? Oh yes, I remember this. Some sort of a horsey. Get off the horse and enter briskly. Need to look around cautiously. Considering the noise, you doubt that anyone noticed the clatter of hooves. The short, dry grass barely covers the arid soil of this valley, but you're maybe a minute away from the edge of the sparse woods, which get denser as they climb up the hills. At best, this trail has a few more years before getting overgrown for good. Hard to believe it's the only route north. I guess it's not that well traveled then, eh? Oh, 30 minutes before dusk. Speak inside. Take care of your hair self. You are hurt or exhausted. Some actions won't be available to you. The weaker you are, the higher chances you will die in combat. Ah, poop. There's a thing that got on the foot. There we go. How about lower the foot? Your heavy boots hit the ground, and the pain of a long ride finally catches up with you. You stretch out, bringing your back legs and comfort. And all you want now is a table, decent chair, a nice mug of beer, and some warm stew. With any luck, your axe won't be needed here. Approach the gate slowly. It is a military camp. It doesn't look the part. Plenty of wasted space and the fire pit is cold. Two people are sitting at a table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them is holding a cup. After a moment... I think this is a bit loud, though. About that. Lower. Two people are sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. Right. After a moment, you notice the quiet humming. You recognize the melody of a light-hearted drinking song from the city harbor. Let's enter. It takes them a few breaths to glance in your direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes. His beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing durable, decent boots. A mace with a head covered in iron hangs at its side, but he doesn't reach for it. I take a second look at the second dude. Well, we should do that, shouldn't we? Let's have a look at the second dude. Just like you, she's wearing a gambeson, but hers is a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. That's a weird way to put that. Her head is shaven, as if she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Her eyes are weary, yet kind. She smiles. Considering the squad has sent her here half a year ago, these two surely look the part, though there should be more of them. 8, you believe? I guess I can't interact with any of these things. Let them speak first. Ask about their lieutenant. Let them speak first. It is nice to see an unharmed traveler in this godforsaken shithole. Makes me just a bit hopeful. The bearded man's voice is strong and yet timid. You'd be staying the night with us, I guess? We're soldiers, he and I, adds the armored woman. Her voice switches from half asleep to relaxed. We'll do our best to keep the camp safe, but if you were to take the first watch, it would be a huge help. Travelers ought to help each other, wouldn't you say? You think for a moment. To fully rest, you'd need a good sleep. Why aren't they? You feel well. I'm exhausted. The man looks away. If you say so, though better keep your axe nearby. The nights here can get spooky. I'd say sinister, the other soldier spouts. Ask about their lieutenant. You wonder how to phrase the question. Whenever you meet new people, you can influence how they perceive you by selecting one of the attitudes. Where is your lieutenant? Friendly. So, what about that lieutenant of yours, eh? Had a long journey. I need a word with your lieutenant. I'd rather speak with someone who's not going to waste my time. Ooh. I'm looking for your lieutenant. That's the distance one. I'm sure you're busy, so if you could just introduce me to your lieutenant. That's playful. I was hoping to meet your lieutenant. Could we talk for a bit? We'll put the first one. The woman lets out a sigh, dust off her gambstone, and speaks towards you. She pays little attention to the sword at her side. We most definitely can, you and I, though holding this rank is still somewhat new to me. Are you a messenger? Did you lose your mount? She observes you curiously. Or are you looking for some help? I'm the new Roadwarden. My horse is waiting outside. Really? The soldier in the shirt leans forward. That explains how you got in here in one piece, all by yourself. Better bring your beast here, asked the lieutenant. We have no hay, but I bet it dreams of dropping its saddle. Long pause. I'm Tulia, by the way. She reaches out her hand. Shake her hand. I am... Leto. I could use the other one. I could use Ironfoot again. Yes, Iron. From the other story. Excellent. She grasps it confident. The shake is slight. Just keep your horse away from the tents. She steps away. Don't need to smell its dung. There's the one issue. The soldier in the shirt also rises to his feet. We have no tent to spare. You'll have to use a blanket or something. I should get used to sleeping on the ground anyway. No problem. I enjoy observing the stars. You walk through the gate. Your mount looks around and snorts anxiously. Not many humans could ride a horse. It's not only taller than you, but also bulky, as heavy as it is strong. You can get in the saddle within a single breath, but most people wouldn't know where to even begin. From every side, it is a wall of flesh. Horses were brought to the Dragonwoods from the conquests in the south. They can trot for a long time, but won't outrun some of the local monsters. Your pilfery needs you to survive, but without it, you would be lost. So that's the horsey, the pilfery. Okay. It's my only companion here. I want to make it feel at ease. I don't care how it feels, but I need it to be strong if I want to travel. Can't afford another one. Ooh. Well, let's be friendly with our horsey. It takes a few steps forward towards you, scolding with you with another snort. You scratch the bottom of its neck with strength and confidence, just the way it likes it. Humans see useful animals and even pets as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom. But you know that horses need companionship. Speak to it gently and lead it into the camp. Okay. You end up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes the horse nicker with relief. You take a couple of minutes to examine its back, just in case. While the riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time it starts to chafe. You wish it had something better to eat than this shabby grass. You should look for an inn. I need to unpack. Okay. You haven't brought that many things, and you lost one of the sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eaters. Delicious human. Worst of all, you have no rope left. But maybe the soldiers could spare some. Shouldn't cost more than a dragon bone. One measly dragon bone. Okay. Aside from the travel set, you own a few valuable possessions essential for your trade. Oh, I can pick what I am now. Interesting. Okay. So I can be a fighter. I spend my savings on decent combat equipment. I have a fine gambeson, A axe made out of steel and a reliable crossbow with quivers. I have talismans that help me with my powers if I want to be a mage, as well as an iron axe and a worn gabson. A mage with an iron axe. Interesting. Or a scholar. I carry writing instruments and alchemical ingredients as well as an iron axe, a worn gamson, and some healing potions. How about we learn more about these? As a fighter, you'll have an easier time in physical challenges thanks to your superior equipment and hidden bonuses during the dice rolls. You'll be physically more capable than any other class. That opens unique opportunities during some crucial interactions. It is the best class for RPG beginners. The fighter's weakness is their reliance on physical strength. Your special abilities won't be available to you if your vitality points drop to 0. The mage uses pneuma, a versatile but limited power of energy points that can be spent to cast a few humble spells. Magic won't protect you better than a sharp axe, but as a mage you'll be able to heal faster while resting, detect magic in mysterious areas, distract a beast with a simple trick, or find a common tongue with other magic users. Using the mage's powers to freely will result in no pneuma left when you need it the most. Oh. So I guess the pneuma is the mana. The scholar will know more about the world's mysteries than you, helping you take advantage of some unusual situations. Your character will impress the locals with its knowledge, and you will be able to read the sparse written clues without anyone's assistance. Scholars struggle with combat more than any other class, but with enough carefulness and exploration, you will gain access to alchemical mixtures that will help you escape from many dangerous situations. The thing is, a fighter will not, even though he has something that will wear out vitality points, special abilities. But even if I run out of special abilities, I'll still be able to swing my axe. I'm pretty sure. As for the mage, he also has an axe. But it's not like a full mage, it's more like a weak little sorcerer from what I gather from this. Let's be a fighter. Taking hits would damage your armor. You can fix it in various settlements. We have armor, 3 out of 4. It will stop even a life-threatening strike with a current Gammerstone. It is the best protection you can get. I guess we should move it maybe inside this place. You unpack and inspect your belongings. Open your inventory to see your possession. Oh. Okay. Unless you're occupied with another task, you can eat food, drink potions, and use your items from this menu. Be sure to click on each of items you receive. Some of them can have unusual applications. So food rations, merchandise, pouch of coins. Padded defensive jacket, that's the Gamberson. Okay. Cheapest type of armor, yet surprisingly effective and as a result very common. Travel set, your sacks contain all sorts of useful tools. Well crafted battle axe and a crossbow with It is difficult to buy a crossbow outside the City Craft Guild. They require complex mechanisms made by combined efforts of specialized artisans, but their expensive parts may keep the weapon drawn for many hours. They are easy to aim and shoot, and their quivers hit much harder than regular bow arrows, while loading takes a fair bit of time, in some cases even half a minute. The newer models will not require much effort nor strength, thanks to the introduction of advanced winches. Such a weapon can be a powerful tool, even in the hands of an untrained monk. Since crossbows are more complex than bows, they're often altered by enchanters, who focus their attention on a specific small part. The most popular enchantments include faster reloading speed, extended draw weight, increased durability, and lighter weight. Okay. Axes are made of metal or alloys, are amongst the most common weapons used by travelers, not as safe as spears, not as fancy as swords, but their powerful strikes can... So they're not as safe as spears. Strikes can get through animal shells, scales, and thick furs, as well as most armors. They are not great when it comes to parrying, but a single strike may be enough to leave a devastating wound. Still, the vast majority of them are used by lumberjacks, farmers, and carpenters, and pretty much every household in the countryside owns at least one, just in case. I mean, yeah, they cut wood and stuff. Their shape, sizes, and materials vary. Heads are made of stone, especially flint, bones, chin, and massive shells, while handles are mostly always made of wood, antlers, and leather straps. You've spent a lot of time training how to fight, and like most warriors, your grip is reliable. If needed, you can throw your axe to hit a target over a dozen feet away. But I lose my goddamn axe if I do that. No? All sorts, this is the travel set, all sorts of odds and ends that you've taken on this journey just in case. A rainproof cloak, a set of bone needles and a thread, a iron knife, a blade sharpener, a tinderbox, a couple of tallow candles, a bunch of rags used to make torches, as well as a flask of oil, a pair of protective gloves made of thick leather. The padded jacket, essential part of any armor set. They protect the wearer's chest, abdomen, arms, and thighs. The lighter jackets, called Arcantones, are worn under heavier sets made of alloys of chitin, while the thicker ones, known as gambesons, are worn alone. They are relatively easy to make, and while not all travelers can afford them or wear them for hours without getting tired, they are commonly used by guides, mercenaries, and soldiers. Your armor is not in the best shape and could use some additional work. How about some coins? When it comes to trade, there is barely any connection between Holovan's marketplace and the inns of the countryside. While city officials keep track of value of different goods and oversee the legitimacy of used coins, the villagers prefer to barter or exchange their resources for work or favors. So they really prefer to barter. A single coin is worth quite a lot among smart merchants. It allows you to stay and eat in shoddy city taverns for about 5 days. For 10 coins, you will buy a decent bow, for 20 a sword, and for 100 a squad of mercenaries will be willing to face a family of trolls. Some food rations. The fresh snacks spoil fast outside your cellar, while long-lasting foods are either expensive, like honey or dried meat, or require cooking before consumption, like beans or grains. Most travelers spend their nights in taverns, huts, and villages, where they can trade for cheap warm meals or even eat leftovers for free. As a result, food rations are eaten only when necessary. So I guess eat leftovers. Okay, we've seen the inventory. So, you unpack and inspect your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced. The spare clothes are still there, just in case. You take a look at your wooden bowl and mug, your cape, tinder box, badges, food rations, knife, nothing special or too cumbersome. From time to time, your routine helps you avoid mistakes, but this doesn't make it any more exciting. Return to the soldiers. They are at the table again, observing your beast and chatting between themselves. Your stomach growls at the sight of them, eating out of wooden bowls. One bowl was put out at a previously unused end of the table. You can sit down on a tree log. Thank them for the meal, but I don't want to eat with them. I sit down and ask Tulia what she can tell me about the area. Why can't I eat them? I join them and take a look at the meal. So I don't want to eat them with them. Okay, let's see what she has to say about the area. She's focused and chooses her words carefully. She looks away only when she gathers her thoughts. I'm afraid I can tell you less than I would like. Keeping your stomach full will make you stronger. Starvation won't allow you to restore vitality while resting. You can find your supplies in the inventory. Oh, nourishment. 2 out of 4. Well, why didn't I accept their food? I wanted to. I'm afraid I can tell you less than I would like to and less than I should. She nods toward the other soldiers. As you can see, there is a lot of us left. At the beginning of summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. There's not a lot of us left, right? 5 dead, 1 has run away in tears. There's also strangers in this land, adds her companion. Any piece of information may help me do my job. The man leans forward, his legs shake nervously. He sounds like a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke or do a magic trick, whatever it takes to escape from boredom. His untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you originally thought. What did the officials tell you? I expect not that much. No soul governs these lands. I share what I consider relevant. What I discussed with the officials stays between me and them. No need to be this cagey, I don't think. Share what I can. You tell the soldiers how little guidance they've received. And this area is too far away from Hovlavand. You keep it under control. You were warned that it is untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits, or monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests. From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses or find what they're looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for your guidance. The lieutenant drinks from her cup and stretches her legs, ankle on knee. Seeing her chair makes you doubt she'd even find a comfortable position. Where should we start? Peninsula. What should I know about the peninsula? I'll tell you what I know, and you will be the judge, says the lieutenant. How long did it take you to get here from the city? On a decent palfrey. I guess it would be 3-4 days. When you confirm, she continues, from here you can reach the coast in about a day, as long as you don't make any stops. Don't you know the situation? Why no ships can get here? You nod. The sea route allows Hovaland officials to keep in touch with the coast villages, collect taxes, move the soldiers, collect lumber, deliver tools, but maintaining order on a wild coast such as this one is like filling the ocean depths with coins. Because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore, and the boats can get much closer. Okay, no ship support. She nods. I don't know much about fishing, but there's not many people living by the shore, and they don't crave to stay in touch with the city folks. As she pauses, her companion carries on. No soul from the north ever came to the camp, but we traveled to the roadside inn, Pelt of the North. They're happy to trade and play dice. So there is a inn. Why not just stay at one of the settlements? The man clears his throat. I mean, you know we're to guard this road. This camp is our post. And well, he turns towards Tulia. She lowers her voice. Don't take it the wrong way, Ironfoot, but are you a devout soul? Oh, and here we can pick our religion now. Like most city folks, I believe that people should unite their strength to overcome the threats of nature and dark magic. Everyone will be judged for both good and evil deeds. I am part of the United Church of England. I don't know what's it called. Is that like the Unitarian Church or something? For many years I supported a monastery that does its best to advance mankind's spiritual growth, artistry, herbalism, and magical research. I follow the teachings of an order of truth. I am from a small village. For me, the freedom of shell, pneuma, and soul are the main virtues of life. My community is unique and independent, and so are its members. I have my place in my fellowship. I have a strong connection with nature and spirits, and follow the path of my ancestors. Some of my beliefs may be considered sinister or treacherous by the city folk. You'd probably call me a pagan. There is no evidence of the right's existence, or any of the mystical tales are explained by magic, so no, I'm not. Oh, I can be some sort of an atheist. Okay. I'm a warrior, so as a warrior, could be like a holy warrior. This has magical research and I have no magic. My place in my fellowship. Let's go to church, why not? A fellow unite, the man smiles. Though in this land it won't bring you much good. At least we can discuss the topic freely, adds the lieutenant with a barely visible smile. Oh, so I picked the thing that opens the discussion up? Okay. The people here are disquieting. Every few words she taps the table with her finger. Their traditions won't help them negotiate with the officials. Here she starts to draw a line with her index finger as she is pointing at an invisible map. The peninsula is connected with roads like a big circle. In the northwest, you'll find a weird village at a bog. It's not exactly pagan, I don't think. It even has a priest who claims to be an Emerite. You nod. She means a fellowship. They do crazy shit, Her companion chips in. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig in soil. Once I saw it, I begged to never return there. They use the dead? So they're like, they don't find peace even in death. You have to keep digging ditches and stuff. Oh man, that's terrible. Let the dead rest. Jeez. You hear tales of such as this one since you were a child. It is an isolated settlement, manages to survive without a city's influence, and its customs and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to dangerous conditions they have to deal with, and the rustic pagan traditions muddy their river of faith. The United Church often warns its members about the crazy druids, necromancers, and blood mages, the bringers of doom, the traitors of humankind. Were you able to speak with these necromancers? And how about the East? Any monsters worth mentioning? Anything that could catch my mount? That's all I need to know. How about this one with the mount thing? We saw all sorts of beasts. The man started to count on his fingers. Goblins, terrants, cats, large and small, runners, haulers, wolves, spiked boars, mufflin eaters, griffins, but we managed to stay away. Some could catch up with most mounts. Tulia glances at her companion. Though a pilfrey should be fine. The trees are so tall that the flying creatures keep to the coast and mountains. There's not that many humans around, and the animals are busy fighting amongst themselves. They fight more for food than territory. The soldier cracks his knuckles. Don't provoke them and ride fast. Just count on luck. How about the necromancers? You can see why we were never eager to go there if we could avoid it, the lieutenant chuckles. Maybe they'll be more welcoming to a Roadwarden. The roads are dangerous, with little to no shelters. People need your help. The man in the shirt turns a bit and points a finger to the northwest. If you're heading to the undead village, you will get to a inn first, and soon. Tulia nods. Belt of the North is a safe place. You can talk to the innkeeper or the guards and ask about the road. And what about the east? She stares across the camp. Hard to tell. We went there only once. There are hills, forests, rivers. We saw a tunnel sculpted in the leaves and branches, but we did not enter it. Wilderness all around. Okay, I guess that's all I need to know. I'm afraid we can't do more for you. About some rope. He said he needed some rope. How about that? You're in luck. She heads towards one of the crates and moves aside a large linen sack, revealing a rope. She brings it back and nonchalantly sits down on her chair. Take it. I was planning to leave it behind. Apparently, a rope during the Middle Ages was really expensive. And of course, very useful, but really expensive. People wouldn't, like in the movies, cut rope to do stuff. They would untangle it. And people would actually steal the rope. And not the things that was tying. Okay. Take a closer look. Fine rope. Regular rope with hemp fibers. Take it and offer some food in return. Buy for 0. Okay. 0 before dusk. Inventory. Winged hourglass hidden. Steel pendant hanging from. I didn't have this before. Oh, it's because I'm a church-going dude. It's sort of a cross. Okay. The winged hourglass was adopted by the large religion of the 10 cities, the United Church, the Orders of Truth, and the majority of the Fellowship. It's used in temples and funerary rites, but also in decorative, expensive codices or pieces of clothing. Not every soul who wears such a trinket in a visible place is a devoted believer, but it can be seen as a sign of solidarity with the more conservative section of the city culture. Emblems like this one are meant to portray ephemerality of life and the rigidity of time. The traditional pendants are made of steel, signifying the strength of humankind's determination and innovation. The rights table highlights the important role of iron when it comes to fighting monsters and expanding the lands of the tribes. Other materials such as bone, gold, or even wood are also used, though various communities interpret such alterations in their own ways. The pendants made of steel are not as contentious. Okay. It's a bit harder to make than a cross. You can just have two things, but okay. And anything about the rope? Making a rope takes a lot of time and involves complex tools that combine thousands of fibers harvested from plants, mostly hemp, linen, or straws. Since it doesn't take much skill, it can be handled even by children. It is rare to find an artisan who would specialize in twisting them all day long. The ropes are much more durable than leather strips and are used for all sorts of things. Although their durability doesn't make them a common merchandise, they can be heavy and awkward, so it's common for groups of travelers to share a single one among all of them during their journey. Okay. So, what happened to the guy before me? Tulia takes a deep breath. Aren't you a bit late for a rescue mission? We haven't heard from him for almost half a year, and the soldiers speak for a bit between themselves, trying to get their story straight. They confirm that he had stopped by their camp a few times, but stopped showing up at all in early summer. The bearded soldier starts to scratch the table with the tips of its knife without looking at you. I don't remember his voice. Always busy, drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere, sharpen his sword, fix his loud mail, clean clothes, write notes on the wax tablet of his. Yep, and leave at dawn, unlike us. Asterion never gets bored. Tula lets out a joyless chuckle. He is secretive, but most of the locals talk about him warmly. Maybe he just doesn't like us. Sounds like you're not sure if he's dead or not. If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone is keeping him in a basement. The human craves the compassion. The human carves with passion. We haven't seen him or his Saurian. Something ate them, I bet. The officials have hired you, right? But they don't expect him to return. Richter Roadwardens often use four-legged, meat-eating Saurians as their mounts. They have to be tamed and trained since they're hatchlings, but unlike horses, they can easily defend themselves from many monsters. At least your pilfery is fast and reliable and won't suddenly sink its teeth into an innocent passerby. Don't you know what he was looking for? Maybe he left you a message? Neither of us have had any insight with his dealings, says Tulia. My predecessors left me no clues. We also took a look at Asturian's stuff. Wait, she raises her open palm. I almost forgot. She stands up and heads to a nearby tent. He has kids in a village near Holvaland. I was planning to take all his things there. A pouch, a second spear, a decent bow, some potions. Quite a treasure. She glances at you. But I would much prefer to bring them the truth about their father. So you want me to find out what happened to him in exchange for his stuff? Here's the catch. She dusts off the hilt of her sword. We've hired a messenger to ask the commanders for further orders. Since she hasn't returned and you know nothing about her, she either ran away or something happened to her. She sighs with resignation. We're meant to stay here until fall. What do you think? Come see us. Tell us what you've learned about the man, and we'll get back to Hovvaland together. You think about your real mission. You're planning to return to Hovvaland in early fall anyway. If she's alive, I don't think he's going to be happy about me taking away all his possessions. True. But he is considered dead. I doubt he'd begrudge you anything. And who knows, you may just find his shell lying on the roadside tomorrow. He wears mail, uses a spear mostly. Maybe 5 feet tall, but stout, long, red hair, red beard. Short hair, pale face, rarely smiles. Very gloomy dude. Yeah. She glances at her companion, but after he adds nothing, she sits down and stretches out her legs. So, find out what happened to him, dead or alive. Just let me know. How did you become a lieutenant? That's not much of a story, honestly. She looks at her hand, which is currently rolling a mug over the table. In the city, there is a strict order of, what should I call it? She exchanges looks with her companion, but he can't help her. Well, leadership succession, I guess. Hovvaland chief selects commanders, who select lieutenants, and those put soldiers in orders of priority. If a lieutenant dies, they get replaced in the next soldier in line. So you were his successor? Not exactly. We fought the bandits. Our lieutenant was hit by a slingshot. His boyfriend jumped to help him, but failed to protect either of them from a spell. Ooh. It was like a ball of ice that hung above them and exploded, piercing their heads, completely avoiding their shield. Really unpleasant. Oh. So a spell that's above the head, above the shields and stuff. Okay. And you were the third one in line, is that right? Basically, yeah. She says without enthusiasm. I didn't plan to become a leader, though. I'll get demoted once we return to the city. I prefer to follow anyway. So what was the squad's mission? The lieutenant looks into your eyes. You know, the usual. Making the roads safe, keeping people alive. I explained that it may be important for me to know what they have tried to accomplish. I can't really tell you. You sense hesitation. Do you have any other questions? I mean, I guess I know what happened to the squad, but I don't know why this is available, so we'll click it. Bandits happened, and monsters. A strong band, though, his companions chips in. When we got to the peninsula in spring, we saw some people living in a this camp, the lieutenant decided to avoid it and look for an inn. We had to travel through the night a bit. The bearded soldier scoffs and crosses his arm, but she carries on. If he had decided otherwise, we could all have died that day. The innkeeper explained that the camp is a trap, and that the armed ones pretend to be soldiers. Stay there at night, lose everything you have. Sounds like slave hunters. Tulia sighs. Very much so. They killed some and took others away. Who knows where? They were letting the Northerners go, hoping to avoid their wrath. It kind of worked at the soldiers. We asked them for help, but they refused. We had to clear the entire camp on our own, and that's why 3 of our people died. Don't exaggerate. It's not like the lieutenant didn't make a mistake. He wanted to get rid of them and take over their camp, but we didn't know our enemy well enough. We were outnumbered and they had a ice mage among them. She looks at you. At least we cleared the road, saved lives. You mentioned monsters as well. Nothing that would surprise you. Those of us who survived the skirmishes were young, too inexperienced to spend a summer in this place without a good leader, and they didn't trust me. One of them got caught by a tyrant, another one ignored my orders to perform some sort of hunt ritual, so a werebear tore her to pieces. The last one tried to act tough, didn't tell us that he had his hand cut while cleaning his gamma-zone. He lets out a ghastly chuckle. We had to cut it off, and he was so ashamed that he decided to walk north, find a new life, disappeared. Idiot. He cut his hand! We had to cut his whole arm off. What an idiot. What a colorful journey. The man tried to drink from his mug, but is empty. You've made this place safer. Did they? The place kind of made them extinct a bit. Barely, Tulia says, tired. And who knows if the North, or if it was worth the lives and effort. Anything I should know about this camp? The story's brief. Some merchants built the camp to have an extra stop for mules and donkeys. Just between the inn and the southern villages, there are plenty of grass here and a pond nearby. When the peninsula grew more dangerous, the camp stood abandoned from time to time, serving as a shelter for travelers. The bandits came here in spring, further paralyzing the exchange of information between the north and the southern settlements. Since the highwaymen are no more, the situation may reverse. Time will tell. You may sleep here whenever you want, the man concludes with their tale, though don't expect to wake up without pain in your back. If you were me, where would you go next? The soldier answers quickly. To the inn, of course. He grabs his empty mug. The one northeast from here. If you can't afford the room, the main hall is free of charge. The locals rarely gather there. The northern road is much more traveled, mentions Tula. But the hunters will tell you about this and that, and you will have a chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper can listen and knows many souls. Any tips on how to make a good impression on him? Oh, we are at night time. Okay. So the more I talk, the more this sundial thing here goes. Okay. She smirks. Avoid cheap jokes. Stick to trade. Don't waste his time. Show him that you can be relied on. She doesn't trust me enough to tell me about her squad's mission. Well, I gathered that. It's getting late. We should prepare for the night. I wonder if we kind of skipped a few of these because we ran out of time. I agree. Tulia sighs with relief. And may you do better than Astorian did. Stay vigilant, she winks at you, shattering the mask of a soldier. Thank you for your help. Stay tidy to have a better chance of influence others. Ooh. Go to the barrel and splash water on your face, which makes you even more aware of how much you need a bath. After the night, it will only get worse. Your horse is already napping, still too anxious to lay down. I look for a place protected from wind. I use my bag as a pillow, put my blanket on the ground, and cover myself with my cloak. Okay. You are already used to sleeping in such harsh conditions, but it is better than nothing. The weather is gentle. Maybe you don't catch a cold. The stars instantly inspire your sleep, your dreams, both with their splendor and making you look for patterns and shape amongst them. Your job starts tomorrow. I focus on the real goal of my journey. Couldn't I just make an extra tent here? Guess we don't have the materials. New journal entry, explore the peninsula. Okay. The Merchant Guild wants to take control of this realm. Your wandering duties are secondary. First and foremost, you need to explore the peninsula, learn about the territory, resources, and threats. Get to know the locals, and if you can, convince them to consider negotiating with Havaland officials and traders. Could the tribes resist the soldiers or be a threat to the priests of the United Church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery, or slavery? At least I have time, 40 days to be exact. I need to be thorough as I can. Okay. So in the other runs you would get like only 30 days. Okay, 40 days it is. Once you finish your reconnaissance, you should speak with Tulia and return to Hoveland. There you will report back to your employers and get your reward. In the meantime, you have your own goal to pursue. Oh, there is some stuff. Like personal stories and things. Okay. I need to gather some extra coins so I can save my siblings from debt collectors. I need to gather some extra coins so I can retire early and live in prosperity and safety. If I gather enough connections along the local leaders, I'll use them to become a major player in the Merchant Guild. I want to be remembered as a soul who brought peace and order to this realm, a hero. I just want to help people, make this region safer for the locals and the newcomers alike. I need to find a new life for myself. I have a difficult past and I want to be forgotten. So I guess this is my backstory. I'm not going to have all of these in the backstory, only one. Like, I don't think I have my sibling with debt and this past I want to forget. Both at the same time. I don't know. Do we want to help people or try to become a hero? We don't need another hero. Or how did it go? We don't need another hero. But Mel Gibson came anyway. In Mad Max 3. I mean, it did say that, you know, these Roadwarden dudes either retire early or, you know, are dead, get killed. So like the second one would be gather some coins and retire early would be like the one. Or maybe find a life here. How about that? Decisions. If I become a major player in the merchant guild, I already make extra coins. I just probably make more extra coins. So the third option, it basically includes the other two. So yeah, this is free. This should, even though I'm a merchant, should be fine. A new life here. Peace and order to my new empire. Help people, new life. Yeah, let's do this one. New shelter unlocked. Gain influence. You can travel during a rest sleep to rest. Your half-asleep senses are catching the sound of the wild forest. Your instincts keep you alert and anxious. Though the pleasant, humid, late summer air evenings is out. Air evens it out slowly. Evens it out slowly. Okay. You're thinking about your goal, but you need to gather your strength. All I can do is rest now. You need to confirm a note you're editing to save it. Notes are shared across all saves. Humans. Ooh, lots of stuff here. Okay. Holy moly, it's like a novel here. Does it say what I picked? Gain influence, so that's what I want to do. Oh, it's right here. There. So explore the peninsula. I need to explore the peninsula as far as I can. If I have to get to know the locals and find out much. Yep, hold on. I have to leave the peninsula on the 40th day, or sooner. Then bring the news to Hoveland. To add worth to my work here, I could secure the roads by getting rid of major threats, convince the tribes to negotiate with the officials. Soldiers told me about a large village that repeatedly uses necromancy even though it is forbidden by law. It can be extremely dangerous. I should take a look and judge for myself. The village is somewhere along the bogs by the northwestern road. While I'm in the north, I should build connections among the local leaders so I can become a major player in the merchant guild. Okay. Sleep. What does sleeping on the ground do? Your blanket won't be much of a bed and the palisade barely covers you from the wind. Sleeping here will be severely uncomfortable. Okay, sleep. I guess we have this appearance. 1 out of 5. Face is dirty. You're surrounded by sunlight. Your back begs you to stand up. Before you fully wake up, you smell a roast. Not burning meat, burning, rotting meat. Disgusting crawls towards the consciousness. Disgust crawls towards your consciousness. You stand up. Normally you would dust off your cape and blanket, but your instincts are stronger than your routine. Your horse is looking around nervously. Your bags are where you had left them. You see an open gate. I go outside to see what's happening. Oh, the other gate is open on the other side. Okay. Both soldiers are standing near a humble pyre. The man in the shirt looks at it contemplatively. Tulia is the first one to address you. Ironfoot, she greets you with a nod. We used the horse manure for the flames, so don't worry about cleaning it up. You see a corpse among the flames. It is impossible to tell if it belongs to a male or a female, but it is an adult. The burning process won't be over for a couple of more hours. A traveler or an undead? The latter, a young one. She lacked the pneuma to understand that she couldn't get inside the camp without climbing. I stabbed her with a spear from a safe distance. She shifts her weight. One more fog and she'd be a real threat. Even now, it took a couple of hits to knock her down. It's like the former or the latter. I never understood which is the first one and which is the second one. Sooner or later, but I guess it's the second one, right? The latter. Sooner or later, every human shell wakes up, gaining more strength with each soul it devours. And each moment it spends it's in the fogs, burning the dead, is not just a religious practice, it is a necessity. Soldiers, priests, villagers, mayors, even roadwardens making a large pyre takes a lot of time, but it saves lives. Tulia calls for this undead a she. Most unites hesitate to do so. Time for me to leave. So she might not be a unite. Okay. Running around from the reek, huh? I don't blame you. She walks with you for a few steps. Find us here if you need us, or if you learned what happened to Asterion. There is enough ground here for you to rest. Safe travels. These words make you stop. An old farewell, mocked in a manner of song and tales, but yet you hear no scorn in Tulia's voice. You wonder how many acts of kindness like this you're going to experience in the days you follow. She returns to the pyre. Prepare myself for the journey. Have no food. Because I didn't want to eat from them for some reason. The game didn't allow me. You gather your equipment and spend half an hour warming up and preparing your mount, double checking the buckled straps. You put your gamson and make sure your axe is tightly attached to your belt. Then get in the saddle. The pilfrey knickers are ready to leave. It is time for you to get to the crossroads north from here. Okay. Travel forward to continue your journey. Once you're done with the north, speak to Tulia and return to Hoveland. Map key. So travel north. Not that I can pick anything. Even at a later hour, you wouldn't expect to meet any travelers in the valley. The warm summer breezes lures your mount forward. But the serene chirping of birds is quickly replaced by the distracting screeches and gulges coming from further down the path. You soon find a pack of four-legged griffins. They are larger than foxes and merge the features of birds and furred beasts. Each one is of a different size, coat, and color, and their temperaments are just as varied. Their fronts are covered with vivid feathers, while their rears have dark fur. Their wings are massive, making them impressive jumpers, but they're too heavy to fly. So griffins don't fly in this universe. Okay. Enough. About 24 beasts are yelling, brawling, and chasing each other around, blocking your path. Consider my options. How? 13 hours before dusk. 32 days before autumn. Okay. I have armor, I have some health, no food. If you have any vitality points, you can use the warrior's training to access unique interaction. Oh. The icon marks the action that involves a random chance. Okay, fair enough. Do I have vitality? Oh, this one, the last one, the force one. An experienced warrior, you gain an advantage during physical what? Struggles. You cannot enter the forest blindly. If these or other creatures were to chase after you, the thicket would be disastrous for your horse. There are reasons why travelers stay as close to the main roads as possible and why adventurers move in groups. Usually the safest approach would be to stay where you are and just wait for the pack to get hungry. It may, however, take up a couple of hours. You are thinking about your conversation with Tulia. You got a lot to do and time may be of the essence. I take my axe and hurry the horse. If we ride fast enough, we should be fine. I should stay here, better safe than sorry. Grab my crossbow. A light hit should be enough to make them scatter. Ooh. And this one doesn't have any. Use force or a violent threat. Getting through them should be easy enough. Oh, I can just go through them if I want. Use force. Let's use a crossbow. 2 quivers left. You can learn more about your abilities in the character sheet. These things. Faith undetermined. No lies. No sewing experience. No gambling experience. Well, I have 1 cleanliness. I washed my face. Okay. Crossbows are an easy weapon to use, and you've got plenty of time to aim. The creature falls on its side and screams, alerting its companions. Confused, they look around, and after a while they run away. One of them limping. With your quiver in its thigh, you ride forward. Yes. Excellent. Keep track of your journey, your achievements as your journey unfolds. Yeah, I got an achievement. Okay, fine. The road splits. According to what the soldiers have told you, you may find a safe inn by turning left. The forest to the right is lush and trail overgrown. Kids used to have their song. How did it go? Harshest paths leads to the dragon's lair. Who's to search for treasure? Do you truly dare? The signpost in front of you doesn't make your situation much clearer. It was put here by someone who can't write. For folks who can't read, covered in old red paint, it points east, blood there, as people say, danger to be found. There is not a soul to ask for guidance. So a sign made by a person that can't read. Excellent. It's a sign made by a person that can't write for people that can't read. So in the east there is and the map we're at the crossroads. Okay. Look at my horsey. What is his name? Horsey? You named a horsey? What should we name the horsey? Twinkle Toes, obviously. Twinkle Toes is peaceful as you stroke its mane. Maybe it can't help you choose a path, but you've spent many years together. Happy to go on, it takes a couple of steps forward. You spot a few berry shrubs and wild cabbages. They still need at least 2 weeks to gain maturity. Time to take a turn. Or I can wait. I have a wait button. Huh. Wait a second. Traveler. East with the blood. So the right is overgrown and stuff. Should we go to the... let's go to the safe one. How about that? We'll go to the inn. That's where they said they should go next. Twinkle Toes trots with ease, unbothered by the few branches covering the beaten road. Birds sing and distant howls draw your attention to the forest, which gets sparser and brighter. You spot boars, roe deer, and saurians. The sight of a nearby wolf pack worries you, but once you push your hips forward, your palfrey enters a cater. The beasts don't even begin a pursuit. The speed alone will protect you from many dangers. You notice a stone tower, taller than the trees. It must be the inn I heard of. Inns like this one fit the region traveled by merchants, but you wouldn't expect a place of this size in a forsaken peninsula. The stone and lumber must have been transported from afar, and workers guarded by expensive mercenaries surely lived for many seasons in a primitive hamlet, subsisting on salted supplies. There are seemingly no cracks in the wall, and the building was whitewashed only a few years ago. The road is wide and beaten. Dozens of souls could hide, if not in the building, then at least in the yard. The expenses and labors put into this fortress were worth many trading ships. 3 armed people are at the ramps, though you only see what's above their waistline. They're leaning on the parapet right next to the gate, and you think you notice a glimpse of a smile. They're wearing gamsons, each one of them dyed differently, yellow, green, and linen gray. Let's approach the gate. A woman in yellow armor leans forward. She has long, curly, disorderly red hair, pointing in every possible direction. This combination of colors doesn't work at all. In the woods, one would not shout to draw this much attention. There is still a fair distance between the two of you, but she speaks loudly. I haven't seen a horse for years now. I just said that it's weird to see such a large jackass, huh? Her voice is young and strong, with an accent that reminds you of the villagers spread around Hovaland, but no jackass would wear a saddle, I'd say. She exchanges a few words with a male guard wearing green, giving you time to move closer, like a real jackass. Like a mule. Okay. I thought she was referring to me as a jackass. She exchanges a few words with a male guard wearing a green, giving you time to move closer. Well, this one here says there really are donkey saddles. Says, say, traveler, how hard is it to ride a horse? How about you give it a try? I laugh. You wouldn't believe it. The lessons were a pain. Yeah, let's pick that one. You get off your horse and imitate the silly walk of the day that followed your first long journey. When your whole shell was crying, you illustrate the pain as you move your hand to your back and to hips, then thighs. In return, the guards tell you about the time when they had to carry their friend with bitten off legs for 3 days straight, through the heart of the woods. Meanwhile, the other guards open the gate. You may be in a good mood, the woman with the yellow jacket smiles at you. But you don't get so noisy when you talk to our boss. The man never smiles. He has the world's suffering sculpted on his face. She leans you under the roof, over which your palfrey can rest, tethered with a cord to a wooden post near some old hay. Once you're ready, go inside, speak to our boss. Maybe you're hungry. The other guards take care of various chores. They peek at your mount every now and then, and they're splitting firewood, cleaning their clothes, weeding the garden patches, and moving chairs. 2 of them are making a rope. You head toward the inn, hearing the piercing scream of a boar from the other side of the yard. open the door. If you're at an inn in the morning, you can spend the entire day on resting. Well, there you go. You could rest. But this is a lot of reading to do. So I think I've been playing this for like more than an hour. I think we'll be playing this like 1 hour at a time. 1 hour at a time of reading. Should be fine. So yeah, we'll stop here. We'll probably continue playing in a different day. Bye bye.